with you in the Midlands, BBC Radio.
Call 0845 303 9303.
Truly one of the legends of rockabilly music is touring Britain once again, and this time joins us on the Record Collectors, none other than Johnny Carroll. Welcome back to Britain, Johnny.
Thank you. It's real nice to be here. We've been in a long, fast drive getting here.
I gather you've just come from Yorkshire.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where I came from. I came from Trent, or no? No, Leeds.
Leeds. Well, we're here at the moment at Bids, and tonight Johnny Carroll and Judy Lindsay are performing live on stage at Bids Nightclub that's at Longton, Stoke-on-Trent. So you're taking the programme right now, then get down to Bids this evening and see Johnny Carroll and Judy Lindsay live on stage. To many people, of course, you've been known through a very famous film called Rock Baby Rocket, which was back in the 1957.
Yeah.
And your recordings here, like Hot Rock and Crazy Crazy Loving, are amongst the most sought-after rockabilly records, well, in Britain. Are you aware of the craze for your old recordings here?
Well, I'm aware that they are in demand because I still get royalties on them, and that I can look at what they've sold every 6 months and get a pretty good idea. Been pretty steady for the last 10 years. There's been a steady sale in Britain.
Now, you started out musically in the middle 50s in Texas.
Right.
You worked for a while with the same manager as Gene Vincent, didn't you?
Right. Ed McLemore was Gene Vincent's manager. He was Sonny James and Buddy Knox and Jimmy Bowen, and a whole lot of us worked out of the same place. And we exchanged musicians and worked together Gene and I hung out together for a while. That was in 58, 59.
What memories have you got of Gene Vincent?
I had Grady Owens, and this was a later model. Some of them came from my band first. Howard Reed went to the Blue Caps. Grady Owen went to the Blue Caps. Juvie Gomez went to the Blue Caps. And they were, I believe, all in his Hot Rod Gang movie. But they were also my band as well. Gene was famous for firing his musicians on the spot and hiring mine to go replace his.
What was Gene like to work with, and what was he like as a friend?
As a friend, he was great, and to me, working with him was no problem. I never knew. All I know is what the other guys say. I never saw that side of him, that everybody talks about, the monster, mean guy, and I never witnessed it. But I heard about it continually. Yeah.
Are you surprised by the amount of interest in your music, both in Europe and in Britain? Because it's, in some ways, as popular, if not more so, than in your homeland.
Oh, it's much more popular in our homeland. They dumped it over there years ago. Although a lot of musicians are still playing rockabilly, they never use the title because it's like throwing water on the fire. If you say this is rockabilly, the stations won't play it.
I mean, why do you think there's some resistance to the actual natural American culture? I mean, what are the reasons for not playing it?
I don't know. I've tried to answer that question. I don't have an answer, and nobody that I know has either.
Can I ask you about your other recordings? You actually started off in this country on Brunswick Records. Which other areas did you actually work on?
Gosh, I don't know. I was on Sun, I was on Decca, I was on Warner Brothers, Rolling Rock. I can't remember them all. I think they were going to give me a gold album for being on 1 million labels.
Now, you sent a demo tape to Sam Phillips in Memphis.
Yeah.
Can you tell us that story?
Well, yes, I was working with Scotty and Bill at the time. That when Elvis was in Las Vegas with Sugarfoot Garland and a few guys playing, and I was working with Scotty and Bill, and I said, well, Decca has dropped me because of a legal dispute. I need a contract, and they called Sam Phillips and he said, send me something. So I had the Rock Baby Rocket song that we had cut for the movie that got left out of it. And I sent him that as well as
That's the way
3
I
more. No, it's called Rock Baby Rocket was the...
Did you send a demo of That's the Way I Love?
Yeah, That's the Way I Love, Rock Baby Rocket, You Made Me Love You and I'll Wait was a 4. There were 4 on the demo.
And what was Sam like? I mean, he's a legend in popular music, Sam Phillips of Sun Records, but how did you find him?
Oh, I thought he was one of the entertainers. I wouldn't when I met him, I thought that I would never have known he was the president of the record company, because he looked and acted like another entertainer, but he was quite, and he still is an entertainer. He basically is, the guy can fascinate you talking to him.
Tell me about rockabilly music, because for our, perhaps our younger listener and some of our devotees of other types of music, define rockabilly music. As you are one of the legends of that style, can you clearly give me an idea exactly how it differs from other styles?
Wow, what a question! How would you come up with that? Rockabilly is just a more. It was the first of the things to just use bass drum and guitar, and then piano was added eventually. That the purest rockabilly would probably be just bass drum, electric guitar, and rhythm guitar. It's almost an acoustical music, yet it still incorporates a pretty hot electric. It was right at the verge of the electric guitar and the electric bass were coming in. And it's a very heavy country-oriented blues, fast blues.
Have you your influences when you were just a boy? Because you started off from high school in Texas and you were playing in a band very young. But where were your influences?
My influences were Hank Williams and Slim Whitman, and let's see, B.B. King, the Midnighters, the Clovers, the Drifters, especially the Midnighters, I would say. But then we switched right over to Hank Williams and Hank Snow, and it was like half and half.
Have you any particular memories of those halcyon days that come springing to mind?
Well, the particular memories were how much fun it was at that time, because we didn't realize we were, as everybody has said, we didn't know we were creating a style of music. We were just a bunch of white guys that were listening to black music and trying to incorporate it into what we were doing. And then the labels got put on it later. The music was before the label.
So it was like a crossover between country and blues, effectively.
It was for me, because basically I thought of myself as a country person. I just wanted to play those black songs.
Can I say, on behalf of all our listeners, thank you for providing us with some of the rarest rockabilly music. And is there any plans for any new recordings? I know there was a Rolling Rock album that you did. Anything that we can be looking forward to in the near future?
There's a possibility. Sanjay is, in fact, said, let's do one, but we have to we've got a project with Judy Lindsay's new record right now, and until that project's over, we're not going forward with anything. I can't think about one thing at a time, but later on we will. Yeah.
A few words about Judy Lindsay, because you've been working together with her for some while. She's quite famous in the country music field.
Yes, she's very, very popular in the United States, well known, and she's been my partner for some years, and she keeps me rolling in the United States. And now she's making she did Wembley last year, and she's making a bigger name than I am over here now. But she's another generation, 2 generations under me.
Well, Johnny, you are one of the founding fathers of pop-in music. On behalf of all our listeners, keep rocking, won't you?
Oh, yes, I'll keep on rocking.
And here is Johnny Carroll.